As a ball runner, he has a Kenkama, Minema Perunia. Honorable Rashid Pelpo.
Our Central MP2 is here. Honorable Rashid Pelpo.
Good. That's good.
So as a ball comrade Charles Kenkama, Perunia Minemi, our Samu Pera, Ajetanawa, Niasa Kuoro, Mobile Viamo, Apara, Akobo Larano Huaranya, Apara. What I've just said incessantly briefly is we have gotten to the stage where we have to give the opportunity to our landlords, the traditional authority, to welcome our dignitaries who have come to grace this occasion with us. Thank you so much. So some.
Good evening, everybody. I say good evening, everybody. Excellency John Dramani Mahama and the entire group of people he has come with from Accra, regional and district executives of NDC, my MP, colleague chiefs, everybody else here, protocol duly observed. I deem it a singular pleasure and an honor to be given a chance this evening to talk to my president. On behalf of the entire traditional area, the chiefs and the people, on my own behalf, I welcome everybody here to this very important gathering this evening. There is no denying fact that the NDC party and Your Excellency Don Dramani Mahama have influenced the lives of our people in this traditional area. In other words, we have also had our share of development projects that will make us progress as a people. However, a little bit of it is what we got. There's a lot yet to happen. I will not go too much into details, but to mention just a few, what is of pertinence to us are education, health, and our roads. Then the communication infrastructure in this district and traditional area. Your Excellency, you will recall that shortly before the voting, you opened one of your schools you built for Ghana for us, and you know very well that the infrastructure to make it complete have not been done. Then again, you also remember when you came here the last campaign, like you have come, that last 3-4 years, I mentioned it to you that this is the only district capital, or the district, Lambussie district, amongst our peers without a district hospital. Besides, the roads are in very, very bad shape. The promise was to tar the Lambussie Township, which is the district capital, and then to re-gravel the roads, the two main roads we have in the district. From this point we are towards below through to Bangor to hit the the Hamele Fielamo Trunk Road. The other one is from this particular point towards Samoa to Suke and into Zini. And I really went with the NDC to the regional engineer. I discovered he was a friend. And he assured me that it will happen before the voting at the time. But it didn't happen. Now, what is the health education they do? Health route and so. I will not want to bore you much, but to say that, Your Excellency, I have got an agreement here for you to sign for me. I will take Yagongora as my witness. Often look for someone here to be your witness. You provide me with a hospital before the voting time. You get Lambussie Township tarred before the voting date, 7th December. And you provide my hospital because it's the only district, let me say amongst our peers, Laura Nandon Jirapa, who have no district hospital. The present polyclinic here is heavily stretched beyond its boundaries. And I must say that we have got 2 qualified medical doctors. And all that we need to qualify, we got everything. It's left of just building the hospital for us. So, Your Excellency, this Gawoka Ganama, I won't talk much. I know you're a man of principles. The other one I will talk about is we chiefs, when there's peace, we just go to sleep. But it's clear throughout the country that not everything is okay with us, in the sense that just go and identify yourselves so that the state know who you are, and that one is bringing problems. We have seen the sort of skirmishes that are happening, especially between MPP and NDC. We the chiefs are weeping and cry up to you, the leaders of these 2 political parties, to talk to your men and women to hold their fire, because Ghana is the only land we have on this planet. So please, I know very well that if we talk to your vote followers, they would listen and let us have peace now, during the elections and after the elections. I think normally chiefs don't talk plenty. The other one is the communication. If we look at these 2 trunk roads I'm talking about, just about 12 miles from here, I'm not able to call my most senior divisional chiefs, Mahama Kuoro, because that place is shut off. Sometimes I have to send someone or more to go and tell him a thing that you need just a click on, and then we see how we can help the traditional area to grow. So it is one thing that we'd like you to look at when you become President of the Republic of Ghana. We wish you what you wish for yourself, and I know my people will decide whatever they will do, whatever we also do to help the system to progress in your favor. will do it. And we will wish you and your entourage the traveling mercies of the Almighty Allah, and to wish you a very safe journey back to your bed tonight, wherever you're going to sleep. I have decided that I agree with the most beautiful sisterly woman to accompany you for is it for the night? I don't know. Oh, my people don't like it, so I will withdraw that one. Thank you all very much for coming. We the Chiefs are very grateful to you once again for calling on us. Thank you very much.
I'm on as a Paramount Chief. I don't know here.
And might invite His Excellency to come and address us. But before then, I want to make a few comments. Ever since we started this trip, for the past 3 days, when Chief, you were asking of finding somebody to accompany His Excellency, I was just going to tell you that yesterday His Excellency didn't sleep, because we started from 9 o'clock in the morning and we ended at 6:30 in the morning. When we got to White, it was 6:30, so we didn't even have a sleeping place. The essence of the passion of His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, which pushed him to work almost 24 hours without resting, is that the development, the progress of this country is very dear to his heart. As we moved around, the requests that have been coming from the various chiefs and in the various traditional areas, I keep on asking myself whether the Upper West region is part of the 17,000 plus projects that Dr. Bawumia has been trumpeting on the social media. Because we haven't seen anything. Anywhere that we go, the testimonies are that the project that you started during your time in 2016, before you left, the projects are still there, and the chiefs and elders have been asking and praying that 7th December is hastened, so that John Dramani Mahama second coming will become a reality for him to continue on these projects that they are patiently awaiting. Indeed, a lot of the areas yesterday at dawn, when we were in Zini and the Paramount Chief was lamenting about the abandoned projects, especially the E block, which if it had been completed since 2016 that President John Dramani Mahama and NDC left office, would have created opportunity for nearly 4,000 young men and women to access senior high education. It would have avoided the gold and the traffic light system that we are facing in our senior secondary schools now. Indeed, in the Upper West region alone, as of today, we have counted about 6 abandoned E blocks. One at Konzo Kala, one in the Jerapa constituency, one Azini, I think in the Sisala West constituency, one at Romo in the Wa West constituency, one at Willembele in the Sisala East constituency, one at Noro in Nadoli Kalio, and one at Bo in Laura. 6 have been abandoned. All of them are almost 90% complete. Each of these E-blocks could have taken about 1,000 students. So imagine that they were completed in 2017. 2017, 1,000 students would have gotten access. 2018, 2019, the 6 of them every year could have provided 6,000 opportunities for young people to access senior higher education. But Nana Akufo-Addo and his MPP government has decided to abandon the projects. So yesterday, the minority leader said that if a government decides to abandon your projects, on election day, you must also abandon the government when you go to the polls. I kept on asking, the promises, haven't you had your share? The one district, one factory, I haven't seen one in the Upper West here. Lambussie, do you have one district, one factory? They promise one village, one dam. Do you have one village, one dam? They promise one child, one chocolate. Have the children have chocolates to eat? They promise one individual, one bank account. Do you have your bank accounts with you? What the MPP and Nana Akufo-Addo has succeeded in doing is that they couldn't create jobs for the teeming youth of this country, but they have collapsed financial institutions. As we move along, we see GN Bank everywhere closed. Even here, I've been told that one is closed here. It is just around here, and people have lost their jobs. But there is hope for us. His Excellency John Dramani Mahama on Monday is going to launch the NDC manifesto, which will be a game changer for the future of this country. President John Dramani Mahama is going to create opportunity for the youth because unemployment has become a big burden in this country. And so he is coming with a master plan called the push. All of you say push. All of you say push. President John Dramani Mahama is coming out of the push program, a $10 billion facility that will ensure that we address infrastructure challenges. We already noted with development. When NDC is there, there is development. When NDC is not there, you don't see development. But he's going to fast track the infrastructure development and the socio-economic development of this country. He's going to create opportunities for jobs by ensuring that every district capital is given a technical vocational institution in this country. Again, our young ones who are unable to access technical vocational education and who want to go into apprenticeship program, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama is coming with a package. The package will ensure that all those who want to go into apprenticeship to learn carpentry, masonry, hairdressing, electronic, automobile, and all others, the government will pay the cost of the training to the master craftsmen and also support the apprentices with some allowances to enable them to go through the process. When they finish, he will provide them with equipment and startup capital to be on their own, create employment for themselves and create employment for other people. His Excellency John Dramani Mahama vision for this country is big. He always thinks very, very big. And so this is the man I am introducing to you this evening. He's seen it all, from MP, Deputy Minister, Vice President, and the President of the Republic of Ghana. And as I speak to you now, by the grace of the Almighty God, he will be the next president of the Republic of Ghana. I therefore have the honor and the privilege to invite the humble, affable, polite, down-to-earth, very respected John Tamandi Mahama to address the chiefs and people of Lambussie traditional area. Thank you very much. Your Excellency, you are invited.
Thank you very much. Ezu, Eza, Ezu, Choboy, Choboy. Thank you very much. My father, the Lambussie Kuoro. You know me, when I come to Lambussie, then it means I've come home, because I'm a Gunja man from Bole, and so if I come to Lambussie, Lambussie is my home. And that's why Lambussie Kuoro was saying that he wants me to sign an agreement, but he wants Yegbonra to be the witness. When I get to Damango, I'll tell Yegbonra that you're looking for him to come and witness this agreement. But that's the beauty of our relationships. Our forefathers adopted each other as playmates, and it promotes peace and unity amongst our people. I remember when my father passed away and we were mourning. This was in 2001. And that morning we were all very sad and we're going to bury him. When we got to the graveside, these Sisala people jumped into the hole and said, don't allow us to put the body in unless we give them a cow. We thought they were joking. We begged them, we gave them a little money. They said no, they don't agree. We brought a sheep. They said they don't like sheep. They want a whole cow. And at long last, we had no option. One of the cows that was donated for the funeral, we had to take it and give to these Sisala people before they left the grave for us to be able to bury our father. So since then, I've also been looking for an opportunity to revenge. But that is the beauty of our relationships. And I want to thank you very much for your friendship. We are heading for elections on 7th December 2020, and the NDC, as one of the leading parties in our democracy, is participating in those elections. We held our primaries and I was elected as the flag bearer of our party to lead us into the election. And so I have come to present myself and to solicit your support as usual, so that we can continue the good work that the NDC was doing when we were in government. Often when you have a spouse, that means if you're a woman or you're a man and you have a spouse and you're living in peace, everything is going well, there are sometimes you might spot another woman or another man who will make you all kinds of promises, and it will make you dissatisfied with the spouse that you are already living with. But often, sometimes those promises can be very misleading. You leave your spouse with whom you've lived in peace for many years and things have been going on okay, and follow the handsome man or the beautiful woman that you've seen. It is only when you get there and she starts punishing you, or he starts punishing you, that you realize that you have lost something valuable, and so you have to go back and marry your God-given wife. And NDC is that wife. MPP came with sweet promises. I mean, some of the promises, when you hear it, it sounds too good to be true. But Ghanaian said, let's try them and see. I mean, $1 million for every constituency every year for 4 years. And at that time, $1 million was, $1 was about 4 cedis. So $1 million was about 4 million cedis. So for 4 years, it means Lambussie should have got 16 million Ghana cedis. Lambussie Kuoro, if you had 60 million Ghana cedis as was promised, you won't be asking me for hospital and road and all those things. Because by now you'd have done all those things yourself. I'll not even have come here to ask you for a vote, because I know that they've satisfied all your desires. The other one is one district, one factory. It sounds very sweet. One district, one factory. It means every district will get a factory so that young people can get work to do. One village, one dam. One child, one chocolate. One child, one egg. But Lambussie Kuoro, Ghanaians are no longer small children. Our minds are developed and we are discerning. And there's the saying that first fool no be fool, but second fool is a big fool. So you can come and deceive me the first time and fool me. That one I didn't know. But once you've done it once and you come again, I should have the sense to know that this thing you are coming to say, you are trying to fool me again. As for NDC, our track record is there. When I was president, MPP said I was borrowing too much. You're borrowing too much money. The debt I added to the national debt was 54 billion Ghana cedis. 54 billion Ghana cedis in 4 years that I was president. But you come to Lambussie, you see the E-Block school there. You go to Wa, you see the Upper West Regional Hospital there. You go to Tamale, you see the Tamale Hospital expansion project there. You go to Tamale, you see the Tamale International Airport Phase 1 completed. You go to Bolga, you see the Bolga Hospital there. You go to Kumasi, you see the KJTR markets there. You go to Accra, you see the University of Ghana Medical Center. You see the Rich Hospital. You see Kotukwa International Airport, Terminal 3. You see Kwame Nkrumah Interchange. You see Kaswa Interchange. You see Bupe Tamale Road. The evidence of what we use that money for is there for everybody to see. Now, Nana Akufo-Addo takes over. 3.5 years. He has borrowed 140 billion Ghana cedis. 140 billion Ghana cedis. Almost three times as much as the debt I added. And the question I ask him is, what have you done with all that money? Where are the hospitals? Zero. Where are the schools? Zero. Where are the roads? Zero. Where is the electricity? Zero. Where is the water? Zero. And so the question is, What have you done with all that money? And the point I'm making is, if you borrowed 140 billion, then it means that you could have given the 1 million per constituency. Because that would be $270 million a year. And so $275 million a year. And so in 4 years, you'll be talking about a little over $1 billion. And a little over $1 billion is a little over 6 billion Ghana cedis today. So out of 140 billion, you could have given the constituencies 6 billion and fulfilled that promise. But no, even the little money that we get in the District Assembly's Common Fund, under NDC, it was 7.5% of total national revenue. When MPP came, they reduced it from 7.5% to 5%. So even the District Assembly's Common Fund that we used to build KVIP, we used to do small clinics and other things, remove schools under trees, that one too doesn't come. And that is why you crisscross the whole of Upper West, up and down, and you can't find one single thing that they have done. Even the little that should be done, instead of letting the district assemblies be the ones to decide what they want to do, they have a ministry of special initiatives sitting somewhere in Accra. You'll be here in Lambussie, some contractor will come. I've got a contract to come and build so. Without the knowledge of the chiefs, the assemblymen, the district chief executive, nothing. That is not true decentralization. And as for the economy, the least said about it, the better. The economy is in intensive care. Ghana's economy is sick. And it's not coronavirus that affected it. It was sick before coronavirus came. Because the economy has been mismanaged. And all the money that was taken, even for COVID, the MPs say, come and account for it. Let us audit what you've used the money for. You say no. The Auditor General, who is a strong anti-corruption crusader, you go ask him to go on leave. And as soon as he goes on leave, you go and change the locks on his doors. Some of you are public servants here. Who goes on leave and when you go, they come and change your door locks? It means they know that you are not coming back. He's lost the fight against corruption. Anybody accused of corruption in his government, he clears them. He says they haven't done anything. And that's why we call him the clearing agent. At least let the investigative bodies investigate. And if they find out that there's nothing untoward, that's fine, they'll clear the person. It's not for the president to decide that nothing has been done. In 4 years, he has destroyed more jobs than he has created. When you ask what jobs have you created, NAPCO. You go and gather the young people, give them 700 cedis a month. Most of them sit at home, they are doing nothing. They have not been posted. Every month they go and collect 700 cedis and just sit at home, paid for doing nothing. Meanwhile, you have destroyed sustainable jobs. Because if you refuse to pay a contractor, don't think that it is only the contractor you are punishing. All his workers, his masons, his foremen, his steel benders, his carpenters, his whatever, who work on buildings, his tipper truck driver, have all lost jobs because you refuse to pay him. But not only those who work directly for him, those who work indirectly with the contractor too have lost jobs. because the contractor will not buy cement from that cement distributor because you've refused to pay him. He doesn't have the money. He will not buy fuel from the filling station owner because you haven't paid him. He will not take his truck for servicing so that the auto mechanic will also make money because he doesn't have money. You've stopped his job. He will not buy iron rods from the iron rods distributor. But even worse, our mothers and the women who go to the construction sites and sell food to the workers will also not get people to sell that food to and also not make the little money they make. So there's an interlinkage. And so if you decide due to political motivation to decide that you're not paying contractors, you're not affecting the contractor alone. You are creating job losses in a wide circle. As if that was not enough. Banks had a problem. It's not that we didn't know there was a problem when I was president, but I knew that if we took action to collapse those banks, the disruptive effect it will have on the economy and the social lives of Ghanaians was going to be massive. And that's why we were managing the problem to be able to resolve it without creating such a drastic negative impact on the people of Ghana. Come Nana Akufo-Addo, there's a problem with some banks. Instead of taking a lesson from how we're managing it so that you can get out of it gradually, you decide that you're going to shut them down because some of the owners of the banks, you don't like their faces. And so something that 9 billion Ghana cedis would have solved to bail out those banks, you decide to collapse them and use 22 billion to pay the depositors who had their monies in the banks. I mean, what economic sense does this make? 9 billion cedis could have bailed out the banks and microcredit institutions that were shut down, and you shut them down, and today you're spending 22 billion to refund people's monies. Even in your house, if Ghana were your own company, there's no way you take a decision like this. And the worst thing is those who lost their jobs. All these bank employees, some of them are riding Okada now, others are driving taxis and Uber. They've converted their cars into taxis. Their children have dropped out of school. Many of them have been ejected from their houses because they cannot pay the rent anymore. But they are even the lucky ones. The unlucky ones are those who have died because of the hardship and misery they've been put through. And worse still are those whose spouses have left them. Marriages have been broken. That is the state of our country. But there is hope. And that day where we make a decision that will ignite the hope is coming soon, in a little under 3 months, and that's 7 December 2020. We have the opportunity to make a change. We have an opportunity to bring the NDC back into office to manage this country properly. And I wish to assure you, Lambussie Kuoro and the people of Lambussie, that the running mate that I have selected, Nana Jane Opoku-Agyeman, is a very capable woman. And that between the two of us, we're going to work to turn this country around. And our priority is to create jobs for young people. And for infrastructure, we have nothing to prove. Everybody knows that we are the kings of infrastructure. And so the issues that you raise with me, Lambussie Kuoro, consider them done. We've said that in every district, we will build a district hospital. And so we're not doing you a favor. We already have said that we'll provide district hospital for all districts. And so you deserve a district hospital. And so we'll do it for you. The road network in this region, we were working on the road network. I even remember I approved 7 kilometers of Lambussie town roads. 7 kilometers of Lambussie town roads. Unfortunately, we left office, and all the projects that we were working on, had conceptualized, were abandoned by the new government. Contrary to what our constitution says that every new government is enjoined to continue the programs and policies begun by the previous government. But for political reasons, somebody feels that if I continue these projects, the credit will go to this person, and so I won't do it. Meanwhile, it's not that person's money, it's not John Mahama's money. It is our taxes, all the taxes that all of us pay. It's what has gone into those projects that have been abandoned today. And so I've said, when we come, we'll take all those abandoned projects and we'll continue and complete them so that the taxpayer can get the value for the money that has been sunk into it. We put up the E-block schools so that we could immediately ease the pressure and have children going to school. And I had said, and I announced it in 2016, that we were going to put additional structures there, one to house the staff and teachers, and then also have dormitories so that children who come from outside the community can also have a place to stay while they study. And so we will do that. We'll add the additional structures so that the school can be fully functional. And as for telecommunications, I was the deputy minister at the time that the whole communications revolution started. So I know how important telecommunications are to our people. And so I'll take note of what you've said, and we will find a way of resolving it. Peace during elections. My father, Lambussie Kuoro. Normally when you have children, you know the child who is troublesome. But when our fathers are advising us, instead of singling out that child and admonishing him, they'll say, hey, you children, I don't like what you're doing. Stop doing this, stop doing that. But sometimes as a father, you must call that child and tell him, you are the one, you are the trouble causer, you this one. Sometimes you have to do it. Because NDC, we haven't caused any trouble. We haven't taken guns to go and shoot anybody. We don't have militia roaming all over the place. We all know who the trouble causer is. I also West Wagon, those people who dress with masks, they said they were preventing mosquitoes, holding AK-47s and shooting everybody. We all know who sent them there. The recent registration exercise, the shooting at Nkran Kwanta, it was not NDC, it wasn't us. Banda, the stabbing of that young student, College of Education student, stabbed him and killed him. We know who did it. And so we agree. Sometimes you advise both of us. But at times too, it is obvious who the person causing the trouble is. And we'll appeal to you, traditional leaders and religious leaders, to call out that person by name and say, you are the cause of the trouble. After Ayawaso West Wogon, the president himself set up a commission of inquiry. The commission of inquiry sat and came out with a report, identified the perpetrators of the violence at Ayawaso West Wogon. As I stand here today, those who were identified as the perpetrators are not only walking around, they still have the weapons that they used to go and fire at Ayawaso West Wogon. So the fear about violence that is coming because we have a ruling government that believes in the use of violence, all die be die. This is an operationalization of the concept of all die be die. Because even in opposition, they use invisible forces, Delta forces. Now that they are in government, they've given them national security badges. During the registration, a police officer in uniform somebody purporting to be national security was wielding a gun and threatening a police officer in uniform. How can that happen? It is because the powers that be have permitted it. Meanwhile, we need those weapons to fight armed robbers. Ghanaians are not safe in this country. You cannot travel at night from Lambussie to some places because armed robbers will attack you, rob you of your phone, your money. If you are not careful, they'll kill you. Instead of recruiting those militias to go and fight armed robbers, you are using them to terrorize your own citizens. These are the people you want to govern. How do you kill the same people that you want to govern? But Allah is not asleep. Inshallah, inshallah, inshallah. We will change things in Ghana. And people are afraid to talk. If you're a public servant, you're a teacher, if things are going wrong, you open your mouth, they will sack you or transfer you. This is not the democracy we said we're building. If you're an opposition radio station, they will come and shut you down. This is not the democracy we're building. And for a president who is supposed to be a human rights lawyer, I thought that he will have a big heart for people to express themselves freely. Unfortunately, that is not the case. Ahmed Swale, investigative journalist, he was killed. Up till now, nobody can tell who killed him because the state is not interested in investigating it. But like I said, there's a God and he will make a change. We will rely on the people to protect the ballot boxes. Everybody has a ballot box at his polling station. We are not going to bring vigilantes to disrupt the elections anyway, but we rely on the people to make sure that you don't allow anybody to come to your polling station and disrupt the voting, because your voice must count. And so we believe in the people's power to protect their own vote, and that is what we're going to rely on. And so I want to thank you very much, my father Lambussie Kuoro. Before I leave, I will have to carry out my traditional duty of introducing the parliamentary candidate. As we always do, we must formally present him to you. We have presidential and parliamentary elections on 7th December. You vote for the presidential candidate first, and then you vote for the parliamentary candidate. I am the presidential candidate for the NDC, and I'm sure that my Lambussie brothers and sisters will vote for me, will vote for the Gonja man. And my brother here, Edward Derry, is the parliamentary candidate for the NDC. And so after I finish voting for John Mahama in the presidential, they'll give you another ballot paper with Edward Derry's face on it, and you vote for Edward Derry too. And so I'll raise his hand to show that he is the official candidate for NDC in Lambussie constituency. Finally, there was a request by some of our sisters to meet with me, but you know the way time is against us. We're yet to go to Dandom and Hamile tonight before we go back to Wa. And so my running mate, Professor Nana Jenopoka Jiman, will be coming. And so I've told the Member of Parliament that when she comes, if he can find time within her schedule, she can meet with our sisters. There are a lot of programs we have for the women, and there is a microcredit scheme that will target women particularly, to give them small loans, 1,000 Ghana, 2,000 Ghana, to be able to do their trading activities and their market activities. And so when she comes, she will espouse that program and she would explain it to our women. And finally, I don't want to leave here and somebody will say, NDC went, how do they say ghost in Sisame? Ghost. Labondo. I don't want to leave here. You go and say, Obosampo who went and brought Labondo here. I said it's John Mahama. So I'll take off my mask for 1 minute so that you can confirm that it is your brother John Dramani Mahama in flesh and blood. Yeah? So I'm not a Labondo. Thank you very much. God bless you.
What